Hey guys, welcome to The Shack, an LTWK podcast. We're going to talk to you about guy topics, and we have a great one picked out tonight, I think.
Yes, we do.
So, we didn't say who we were. I'm LT.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Scooter, your man on the inside.
I'm Nick.
I'm Mike.
I'm Sam.
Sounds real good. What a great start. All right, what are we going to do for first night? I'm excited.
I think tonight the topic's going to be our Grail trucks.
Grail trucks.
What's a grill truck?
Yeah, please explain.
The one truck that you can build however you want it to be.
Budget, not an object.
No budget.
So many
No,
ideas. So many
Grail
ideas.
truck.
Is this a daily driver or is this a trail truck? Overland?
I think just
Drag race truck?
Or wait, if it's a
Tow
Grail
truck.
truck, it's kind of your choice, right? If
Yeah,
it's a-
it can really be
Yeah,
anything.
let's run with it's your choice as to what you
Because
want
if
it
you
to
want
be.
to solely build a trail truck, then that's cool.
Okay, just
I mean,
so I have some
believe me, I
parameters.
got about 8 or 9 Grail trucks to choose from. So when it's my turn, I got it covered.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you could probably get it covered for all of us, honestly.
Probably.
Oh, I like. You don't think that I don't build Grail trucks in my head like daily?
Oh, I know I do.
I know
so
yours
it's fine.
change every now and then. You tell me about them.
Right. My Grail truck is going to be like today's version.
I built
Today's
one in my
version.
head on the drive down here this
I
morning.
bet.
See, I am just not a car guy. You guys are gonna have to help me.
You just give us a brand and we will build it for you
Sounds good.
in your mind.
You already own your grill truck.
I do.
He probably does.
I do. I love my
Between the TJ and the super low mile XJ, I mean,
I do.
you
Yeah,
could
man,
retire
this is-
on that.
Got the Jeep bases covered.
Right on. All right, who gets to start?
I think we're going to start with Scott.
Oh, great.
Grail truck, no budget.
All
Lead
right.
us off.
Okay, that's fine, no problem. For a long time, let me back up even just one more step. We had no Land Rover club in Pittsburgh. And so myself and a couple other guys got together over a lot of beers at the Mighty Oak Bar and decided to come up with a club, the Fort Pitt Land Rover Group. And so for the longest time, as I was doing Land Rover things, my Grail truck was a truck that you cannot have in this country, which would have been a diesel-powered manual tranny Land Rover Defender 110 with just a 2-inch lift. It would do everything I wanted, go anywhere I wanted, dang near, camping, off-roading, trail riding. A little bit big for the woods on the East Coast, but I think I can make it work. However, after owning many Land Rovers, which I still enjoy the heck out of those, they're fantastic trucks as long as you get a good one. Things have changed, and as I thought about it more,
You mean you got soft?
Ooh.
well,
Wait a minute. He's in the middle of the story. I'm enjoying hearing Scooter story time.
true, when you own a series truck, the fact that it has drum brakes all around, that you must crawl under the truck and adjust the snail cams every so often because these brakes do not self-adjust, you're pretty hardcore. I will give you
No
that.
air conditioning, no heat,
No,
really
not-
uncomfortable seats.
Yes, which if you own a series truck, you should drive 12 hours to Canada to do the birthday party at least 3 times in your life. Pretty hardcore
Top speed
stuff.
50.
53-ish. Depends on.
And you can go like 100 miles before you have to fill up the 12-gallon tank.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, for sure. So that has kind of changed a little bit. And so similar to knife making, which is another topic for sure, I thought, what truck have I liked even before I knew about Land Rovers? And that happened in let me see here, I'll probably get this wrong. Around 1985, because that's the truck. I go to the movies. I'm seeing Back to the Future.
My kind of movie.
Marty McFly jumps up on the park bench, says to the girlfriend, "Whoa, check out that 4x4. Here comes the Grail truck." Not necessarily the color, and it's not overly built or anything, but it is a 1985 Toyota pickup truck, extra cab. Now this is the last year with a solid front axle, the first year with the fuel-injected 22RE engine. It's a perfect combination.
And the giant roll bar with the KC data.
Well, yeah, but it's here or there. But just the truck itself. Now, I would have to lift this 3 inches tops, 33-inch tires, a locker or two. The truck would last forever. It would go dang near anywhere. Could be a camping rig. Could be a daily driver. It's a lot of trucks all wrapped up in one. And I've had a few of those trucks with that engine, not exactly in 1985, but I've had that engine. It's a fantastic engine. I've had I believe it's a W56 5-speed. That's a great transmission, except in the one truck I had, because I think the lay shaft went out of it, and I let the clutch out from a red light, and it went 1 foot and went, and that was it. And it never moved again under its own power.
So your Grail truck right now is that one?
It's right up there.
So 85.
1985 Toyota pickup truck. Yeah. And
Is that the one you had that was tan that time?
no,
with
that
the
was
quote?
Is that the one you painted with the roller in the parking lot?
no,
That was a Jeep.
no.
It was.
I've painted many with a roller. First of all, no, no, that was a 1994. Although
Okay.
it was not a Tacoma.
I'm going to have to look up, what was it, 85? I got to
1985.
look that body style. I'm not picturing it in my head.
It's the one that rusted away.
Hmm.
Just
That sounds
for
good.
our audience's reference, and for mine too.
Yes.
How many vehicles have you owned, Scooter?
Uh,
Ballpark, because I don't think.
ballpark. 20? I'm not
Gotcha.
sure.
Okay.
Part of
Just
you
curious.
want to know where this probably came from.
Sure.
Why
yeah,
it's in my
lay it
blood.
on me.
My grandfather owned a junkyard. Ace Auto Wreckers in Sandy Creek was my grandfather's.
Okay.
And he owned a Nash dealership. And my dad had a garage. And my uncles worked at the Nash dealership. And so every man in the family has been car oriented. So as long as I can remember, if I could reach the toolbox, I had tools in my hand, I was playing with a car.
Cool.
All right,
So
sounds
that's
like
what
it.
I've
So,
got.
Grail truck number 1 is an
1985 Toyota pickup extra cab, 22 RE, W56 Trinity, I believe.
dang.
Could be black. I'll go with the black.
The
I
black
mean, he
was
can pull
cool.
this in.
I mean, a Marty McFly
Right?
truck. But I'll take
The
it.
Marty.
I like the
I'm,
idea.
I'm not gonna lie. When we were discussing the topics, I seriously considered the DeLorean as my Grail vehicle because when I was little, I loved that movie and I loved that car.
Those are really, really nice cars.
I actually saw one in person not that long ago. And
I've
it
seen
was
a few.
like mint condition. It was
There's a
very
company
cool.
out of Florida that is reproducing all of the original body panels out of stainless, so you can
Nice.
build yourself a brand new.
See that might work for me. Even as the not car guy, I would do that. That would be.
I've
really
heard.
cool.
I've heard they're slow.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're a little piggish.
Well,
but,
you
Just
do
for
know,
those
Nick, that
doors.
we're building Grail trucks, right?
Right. Which again,
Just check.
truck is a generic term.
after Scooter's thoroughness there, though, you're making me follow up, and I'm again the not car guy. So,
Hey, you want a DeLorean truck? We'll build you a dang DeLorean
We'll
truck.
put it on tons and 40s.
We can set that right on a Chevy chassis.
well, what are those Russian trucks called? The ones that can float.
Oh, those.
Let's go with that.
Oh, man.
Oh, those big tires?
Yeah, the mosques or something.
I know the little
I
SUV
can picture
army
the
truck
truck
is
going
Yeah.
across the ice and breaking it and stuff.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I
That
know
would
what
be
you mean.
You
fun.
mean the one from Tomb Raider when she comes in with the fur coat and them Russian
I don't know. I never
boat
saw
truck
that
things?
movie. I actually
No,
never
You know
saw
those
that
giant balloon tires with the
got
paddles,
big-
and they just like drive across the lake. They float.
This is like a truck boat. It's like a ducky on steroids.
Yeah,
movie. Yeah.
One of them?
Very
Sure. How about
similar.
just a ducky?
There you go. That'd
those
be
are
great.
for sale. You can get the ones from the Pittsburgh Duck Tours.
Yeah.
Are they
but
no more?
they've
Yeah.
been sinking.
After the duck boat accident in Minnesota where the people drowned,
Dang,
Nobody
duck boat accident.
goes
Yeah.
on duck boat tours.
Oh, well, I went on the Pittsburgh one. It was great.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
But beyond that, yeah, I don't know. You guys would have to help me build a Grail truck, I guess.
Well, what would the base vehicle be, though? Where are you starting?
Again, you kind of have the Grail truck. You
I
have
do.
a pristine example of a Jeep truck.
I am
What-
super happy with my TJ. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely.
That's a
love
good
that.
one, too. Other
That's a
than
great
it's an automatic.
Grail truck to build, man.
I totally agree.
What's the Cherokee? What year's that?
That one is a
97.
97, yes.
97.
So
So
you're still sweet spot.
that's a good. Yeah, that's good.
And how many original miles are on this thing?
82,000.
Holy crap!
And not a spot of rust on the thing because I climbed all through it when I went to look at
Straight
it.
six.
Straight six.
I know, I didn't know
If it were a manual,
Which transfer?
It were a
Which transfer
manual,
case
I
is it?
would've-
Full time four wheel drive or not?
No.
No, it is.
Okay, then it has the stronger transfer.
It's like
It's not the one that has the full and the part time. It's
Okay,
just the.
I've heard that
So
that is the
To
weaker
go
one.
back to the movie reference
Oh,
there.
sorry.
Yeah. If you ever saw the Goonies, it's
Of
the
course.
same. It's the same Cherokee that the
Oh, yeah,
villains
yeah,
are
yeah.
running around
Yeah, yeah,
in. at the
the
beginning of the
Finellis.
movie. Yep, that's it.
Right.
That's it.
Pulled that one out of your
So yeah,
memory.
I
out
can
of-
easily quote almost all of the Goonies.
I love that movie.
Okay.
I have
So-
probably seen that movie more than
Wait.
any other.
Movie quotes is
Yeah, that's a whole nother
That's show
episode.
number 3.
Yeah.
The only other truck that I really always liked is like the really old classic Ford pickup. You know, you see
Classic body style.
Yeah. classic body style. Yeah, I don't know.
70s.
Yeah,
What's
F100.
I'm not the
High
car
boy.
guy. No,
F100.
that's the car guy.
We need John here. You would know.
Well, no, I mean the Ford Highboy. What?
Oh,
the
those were
Highboy?
cool.
This is older, I think. Is what he's
Oh,
talking
okay.
Yeah, he's
Gun
talking
rack,
50s.
Yeah,
F100.
Yeah.
I had a 77 and a half F250 first of the low boys,
Mhm.
which I first lifted back up.
To make it a high boy again.
Yes.
So if you were going to build like your XJ or your TJ, which one would you grail out?
Probably the XJ, and I would do it like completely mint stock and bring it back to exactly
Oh,
where it was. 'Cause
you
it's got
mean,
some-
you mean
it's got some
restoration?
rare- Yeah, I would bring it
Nut
back to
and
like
bolt
real
restoration, like
factory
numbers
floor.
matching.
that would be cool.
I don't think
Steelies.
anyone would care on that
Yeah,
car,
for
but
sure.
okay.
I think you could win a couple car shows with a true, well done, rolled off the showroom floor.
I know one guy who
XJ.
would like it, especially if it had them 4 headlights.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Me too.
Nah, that's a
Okay,
good truck.
that would be
That's a good truck. Yeah,
I'd
grail
go.
truck. A vintage stock XJ. 97, 98 being the sweet spot. Got straight six.
Love
Yeah.
the straight six.
Excellent truck. Loved mine. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. It was an awesome truck.
I loved yours too for that 6 months.
I loved mine 3 engines deep in an 01.
Yeah, that was rough.
You bought the wrong year.
If
I
you
didn't
can't
know.
tell, there's
I am
been
the
some
only
truck
guy
trading.
here though that sold his truck at Kennywood, right?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
Am I the only one here that bought a truck at Kennywood?
Yeah.
That happened.
What line? What we were in line for? Which ride?
What's the?
No, we were going in, and you said, "When are you buying my Jeep?" And he said,
Wasn't it the
"How about right
Exterminator?
now?"
It was
The one that you're inside.
Yeah, it was the
That was-
Exterminator.
Yeah, it was the Exterminator.
Because we were waiting outside in that 2-hour long line, and I bought it there. And
Yeah. So I actually sold my truck in line, waiting on a ride at Kennywood. Right on.
Why did you sell it again?
'Cause Mike told
it was
him to.
time.
It
No,
was
it
just-
was time, man. I had it for how many years?
13?
And I had 360.
when I got rid of it,
Like
it
5 or
had
8 years.
367,000-ish miles.
So it had about 360 when I gave it, or when you bought
And
it.
that was original engine, transmission.
Amazing.
I know. I still.
All
that
of, all
I-
of the
still
Cherokees
can't
I've ever heard of that have exceeded 300,000 miles were all manual transmission. Too.
Oh yeah. That's what it was.
My automatic's got 235,000 on it. Still
Yeah,
kicking.
How much?
235.
Oh, that's-
Still
No,
kicking.
I mean-
We don't know if it's
Yours-
original transmission and engine, but
Right.
it does
My buddy
have-
John
Pretty
Schmidt,
confident.
the bludgeon, the drummer he had on his truck, and Richie Rich.
Mm-hmm.
300 someone on that thing.
Oh man, I mean they're
That's
fantastic trucks. I would
No.
get it. I in a heartbeat would get another one, no doubt.
Just
And
so
my
hard
back,
in
my
this
wife
area with
liked
the
them,
rust.
so she would
Stock,
get it.
stock and restored would be nice. There's a reason they sold a gazillion of those things. It's
Yeah.
a good size, had a good engine for the size, could carry it around. I love mine, other than, I had bad engines or this or that on mine, but the size of it, looking over the hood and room in the back, fold the seats,
Oh, yeah.
it was fantastic.
It's
And
great.
it's a
If it
really
were
great
frame on.
off-road.
See, that doesn't bother me though, because you
No.
can stiffen that up.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll tell you, man.
the
Off
unibody
road,
stuff,
yeah.
yeah.
they're a beast off road. They truly
They
are.
are, but I've seen
Yeah.
so many of those things folded in half.
That's
See,
because
I don't
those are the rusted out
Yeah,
things that
you get the
nobody was
rusted
taking care of, and they decided to make
Yeah,
a trail
but-
truck from it.
I mean, it's essentially, in my mind, and I don't know the wheelbase of a Cherokee, so I apologize,
Mm.
but in my mind, that is a Defender 110. It's the American version of a Defender 110.
Kind of, yeah.
See,
Size-wise,
kinda
yeah.
got that.
Smaller.
That's cool.
But same idea.
And, I mean, if that truck were solid axles, frame on, it would go everywhere. You would. There was
It
it
is
would
solid.
all
The way
still
it
be on the road.
was.
Just no frame.
Yeah.
Well,
Good
And
deal.
that tends to only bother some people.
yeah. It's still
I am
weird.
a fan of frames. I'm sorry. I think
Well,
that
Yeah, but if it's
Yeah.
rusted enough, a frame's going to fold in half too.
I see that. I bought one of those.
Oh, I've experienced that. How many people here have taken their 1972 Land Rover down to the family garage on a nice summer evening and said, I'm going to take the roof and doors off because it's a big Lego set. And as you take the roof off by yourself because you were younger and sturdier, and the roof is over there, and you walk back to the truck and you're looking at it from the side and go, it's kind of folding in the middle.
Ooh.
The roof
was
was holding my truck frame straight on that Land Rover.
Did you put it back on?
No, that's
No, he made a bikini top out of conduit.
No,
Did you weld it?
That was I had to. I had to drive home. I had to
Not
jump
if you
in
put
the
the
rain.
roof back on.
I mean, literally all that night, quick in between some beers, I put some fish mouth pieces. I put some frame steel on the side, welded, got out the big water, just so I could drive home.
I've noticed that a lot of your car stories do kind of go that way, where there were a couple of beers, there was either a Walmart parking lot, a rattle can,
The best
a roller.
Is the
welder.
Range Rover hybrid?
Exactly. The best story is I bought a gray market 1984 Range Rover off my buddy Al in Boston, and had it for a while, built it a little bit, wheeled it, take it over to my other buddy Mark's house, and I said, I want to build a hybrid. And a hybrid in the UK is not an electric engine and stuff like that. A hybrid is taking the Range Rover or Disco body off, shortening the frame 10 inches-ish, and then putting a series truck body or Defender parts back on. That's their hybrid. So the three areas that series truck lacks, four-banger, leaf springs, drum brakes, you now get V8, coils, and discs all around. And I said, I really want to do this. And then we started drinking. And then out comes the tape measure. And his wife he had a few series trucks. We were measuring Lisa's truck. And then there's my Range Rover right there. So the front axle to the bulkhead measurement, the same on both trucks. And we're like, the light bulbs are starting to flicker, or because we were drinking beer. I don't know which. So here he comes out in his sandals and the battery powered Sawzall and said, let's start this project tonight. And I said, yeah. So I said, you got to drive me home if we're going to start cutting this car. He's like, yeah, no problem. So with that, in that first night, we had the roof cut off, all the doors off, some of the back trimmed. I'm like, holy crap, I guess I'm building a hybrid. He says, I just happen to have a couple parts you need for this build over there behind the garage. I'm like, okay. So that, what I thought was going to be a 6-month project turned out to be a year and a half because my dad passed away and we lost the garage, but it was a lot longer project than you'd think.
They always are.
Yeah. And I don't know how many credit cards I put in debt trying to build that truck. But when we were done, and we took it to that first Land Rover event with no power brake booster and no winch cable because those parts didn't show up. It was awesome. It was really cool. Okay,
Very
I'm
cool.
hogging. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
No, that's
that's
fine.
cool.
All right, I think so. We have a stock XJ. We got a relatively stock Toyota.
Mild lift.
Yeah, mild lift.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, yep.
That
All right,
was-
Mikey.
Easiest for me would be the diesel-powered Land Rover Defender 130.
I knew that.
It's a perfect truck for 90% of the things that I do. You could wheel it, you can live out of it, you can drive it every day. It was basically the same wheelbase and overall length as my Ford F-150 crew cab. But completely Defendered out, basically no real interior, big-ass seats.
Do they sell those in the U.S.?
They do not. That was rest of the world only. You can import them now, but
The
they never.
25-year rule's a thing.
Yes, they never sold
Correct.
the 130 in the States.
What do they sell them for now?
A reasonably well restored 130 for sale in the States is somewhere in the neighborhood of $55,000.
Are they all right-hand drive?
No.
Since they weren't sold? No? You can get a regular.
You can get them left-hand drive.
But if you're cool, you get a regular.
Oh, that would drive me nuts. I don't think I could do it.
It only
It's really cool until you go through a drive-through.
Or
it's all good.
Yeah.
So a Defender 130. So would you take it stock? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's typical Land Rover fashion, 2-inch lift all-terrains. But yeah, basically stock. The diesel engine, though. I'd want to have the diesel.
200 or 300.
I would probably go 300.
I like it.
And manual, because you can't drive a 130 with
There's a few choices there. I used to know all those off the top
it.
of
With the
my head.
R380
R380. Yeah, that's good. 5 speed.
5-speed.
I drove one time with that, and the gears are so close together, it's missing shifts. The good thing was just in the field up along.
So are those full-time four-wheel drive?
They are.
Okay. So what do you got? Just a high and a low?
Center diff lock, and then if you want to, you can put lockers front and rear in them.
Nice. So now we got a Toyota, a restored XJ, and a Defender 130. Sammy, what do you got?
Well, my grill truck changes daily, as you may know, but I think I'm going to go back to what you and I have discussed a couple times. Going to change up the engine just a touch. And I already own this truck, but I'm probably not going to fix it. 96 Land Rover Discovery 1 with the 5-speed manual, but a 350 engine. Get rid of the Land Rover engine altogether. Drop a 350
Go
in.
and carbureted.
Now, wait a minute. Is it still a Grail truck if you actually own it and the parts that you want like that?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's not
Oddly
running.
enough,
Okay.
the 350 is
Is in
sitting
the
in the
garage.
garage.
We
It's
have
only,
the
it's
350.
only 10 feet away.
Right.
They're close
We
enough.
could push it through the
They
hole in
may
the
have
wall,
not.
and it would be made.
They probably touched a couple times.
Like this.
So a 350 powered.
Well, you got to get rid of
Sick.
the Land Rover electronics because those are just
All the electricity.
not any good.
I told him to take red and completely gut it, get the wiring on it, get a painless harness, right? Put that 350 in there, put a Chevy transmission in there, and leave the Land Rover drive, the gears and stuff or whatever. See, I'm sure they make something,
I
right?
suspect you could. But the Land Rover differentials are both offset to one side, unlike an American truck. So you'd have to get a transfer case to jive with that.
See, I'm okay with
So-
the drivetrain. It's the engine that and all the electronics. It just needs to go away.
So
That's
I wonder
why
if they
I
make
was such a
kit.
huge fan of the 94, 95 Discoveries. Because it was still the Lucas Electronics. It was before you got into all the crazy stuff. They had the stripped down security system in them. If you really wanted to, you could carburate it because it was still a 3.9.
Buick. It's
Yeah.
a Buick engine. Yep.
Once
So
they got into the 4.0s and the 96, things changed.
your Grail truck, you technically, well, you
I've
do
got
own
the
it.
truck. Yes, I do.
but you're not going to fix it.
Probably not.
Well, that we have this conversation weekly. I swear we do. Because I point out there and I go, you see that truck? You could be running. There's a 350 in the garage. Put it in there
There's
and
also
go.
a Ford 302 in our garage.
That's right. You could have a Ford motor in it.
A flathead Ford in there would be so
That would be kind of cool.
It could be very different.
That'd be weird.
I know a little something about that 350 in the garage because I owned it at one time.
Yeah, I also know it's missing pistons and a crank and a whole bunch of other parts, but that's okay.
No, the crank is in it.
I don't think so.
I don't know. There's no pistons. The
If
crank
it is,
in
the crank is rusted because I've looked at it. It needs a little bit of love.
Well,
I need some love,
It's
yeah.
been sitting
It's
there
still
too.
full.
let me
Oh,
tell you a
man.
little something about that engine. When we, this
Get
all
on there.
harkens. I'm sorry, I'm hogging the thing.
No.
It all harkens back to the fact that we had our own garage for a long time. And every once in a while, the old man would call me on the phone and say, guess what I picked up for you? So that was one of those conversations. Guess what I picked up for you? I don't know, Dad. What? A hot rod. No kidding. What is it? And it's not a hot rod like you're thinking, like you're going to build a hot rod. It's not like that. This was a Buick Regal, I think a 79, that had a blown-up V6. He says, we can put a V8 in here. The guy next door has the engine mounts because he had one of these, something like that. I'm like, okay, great. It was sitting, somewhere in Oakmont. It's black. It's already fast car black. And he says, we just got to go find an engine. He goes to Ace Auto Wreckers, I can't remember the name of the guy who owns it now, and told the guy, I need an engine. He's like, well, there's one over there sitting in a mud puddle. He said, perfect. So he has him pick it up with the forklift, put it in the bed of the truck. He brings it to where I was working at my cousin's soil lab at the time. Here comes the old man. I got your motor in the back of the truck. Really? It is covered in mud and it's sitting on a tire and it's looking bad. I'm like, I hope we didn't pay much for these. Like, nope, it was $20. Okay, perfect. However, when I took it down to the garage, I stripped this engine down. It turned out that this was a 4-bolt main 350 out of a late 70s Chevy truck. And we stripped it down and cleaned it, took it to the speed shop, had them check things. Okay, we're going to bore it 30 over. And the guy said, sometimes we get blocks. Now, this is a while ago, so I might not be 100% correct here, but he said, when I bored this block 30 over, you could tell it was one of the high nickel, good quality GM blocks, and it's a 4-bolt main. I said, okay, great. So I got that much done with it. Somebody gave me an intake with a set of smog heads, and nothing real fancy, but was slowly gathering parts. So they're cylinder heads with it, but they're smoggy, not so great ones. You know, I wanted the
Aluminum racing.
well, no, I wanted stock steel, but I wanted the camelbacks, humpback. There's little designs on the end of those cylinder heads, you know, and it's the one that looks like 2 humps that had stock, like the largest intake exhaust man for the valves. It was a good set of heads, so I was on the prowl for some of those. We put a chrome oil pan on it. I remember that.
It makes it go faster.
Well,
Of course.
Chrome makes everything go faster.
No pistons, because I was, building that in my mind. We did put the crank in. Although you are correct, it could very well be.
So that engine has never been in anything since you started working on it?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's been
But
on a
it's
couple.
ready.
It's been on a couple engines.
It's pretty close.
Oh, wait a minute. Does that mean you're getting it for $20?
Yeah,
He
I
does
sold
own
it.
it.
I put $400 into it at the machine shop.
Yeah.
Then I sold
and he
it.
only paid $7. So
And then I
gotta
overpaid
stir
like
the pot.
crazy for it.
Probably not. That was a fair deal.
I don't know about all that.
Was
So,
Nick involved in this deal?
No,
no, no, three-way trade.
No, but it sounds like it's gonna be.
So, is that in stock
No.
height? All right, finish
If we're
building.
going to do it, we're going to
Tons
do it
and
all the way.
40s.
I don't know about tons and 40s. We got to go at least 6 inches, though. New drive shafts, front and rear, lock, front and back, upgrade the gearing.
37s then?
Well, might as well. If we're going to do it, let's do it right.
Yeah, but right now the way it says it's a good looking height.
Yeah, but
And the rangy 3 spokes.
I mean,
I don't know about the range of 3
right
spokes
now.
on
Yeah.
Not on that.
I used to have some disco steelies. Don't I in the garage? Or I think I gave
I
them
have
one.
3 sets. It's
Okay.
he's
Maybe I'll give some.
It bugs me that you're not going to build that truck. And every time we talk about Grail trucks, you bring that truck
Well,
up.
then the next
And then you
week
look at
I
me and
buy
go,
something else.
I know that I own this and I'm never going to build it, but this was my Grail truck. I'm like,
Here's how you build that truck. I got it.
You sell everything else and take the money and build that truck.
No, you take a stack of 100, set it on fire. No. First thing you do, other than build the engine, which I would love to build that engine. I've built a few engines. It's lots of detail. It's right up my alley. Love doing that.
It involves a torque wrench, which is his favorite tool.
And a
It's because
torque
it clicks.
and some plastic gauge and all kind of stuff. No, build that engine on a stand over here. We'll make 400 horse. That should be good. And the truck, think of it as I'm building this truck to take to the farm. Doesn't need to be street legal, just to get it cooking. And I mean, you're going to have to put a wiring harness in it to make everything work. You can add lights later. Those are dumb. You can add seat belts
Coming from
later.
Master Light over
Another
here.
fluff thing. I'm
You know,
very good at
sure,
wiring.
I don't hate
Especially
the
if
idea
it's
of a
red.
farm rover for a while. You can always build it again. Get first incarnation, get it going.
Exactly.
Worry about particulars later. I agree.
That's what I got in mind with my Jeep squirreled away in the garage. I want to hear that engine run first. I'll make it street legal later. I want to run around the yard in it and scare Joey. And then I'll drive it to work.
I would love to see you drive that to work. I want to see the look on your face when you get out of that little tiny windshielded Jeep with no top on it, and your
Take
face
out
is
my
kind of
earplugs.
He's
peeled
got to have a
back.
leather helmet and goggles.
What do
Yeah.
you mean face pull back? It's only going to go
It's a
49 and a half
53.
mile an
It's a
hour.
50. It's a 52
Well,
Willys, right?
It's a 52 Willys, M38A1 Army Jeep. Yes.
Leather helmet, man. Come on, goggles. scarf.
I could do it.
Right
But
on.
back,
Do you still have the driving cap from the Miata? Because
I have many.
that would pull the look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's not bring the Miata into this.
Hey.
That's a separate
A
episode
moment of
there.
silence
Discuss
for the Miata.
Miatas.
That was a fun car.
Till the boy drifted
It was
into a
interesting.
wall.
So I got wrapped around a tree.
Sold it
Telephone.
it to a guy, and then he sold it to a guy, right? And then they Frankensteined it, something like that.
No. Remember?
Got
No, I
wrapped around
don't.
the
That's why I
telephone
just
pole.
said,
The
look,
kid that you sold it to, remember? He
killed it?
Yeah.
Wrapped it around the
Somebody
Yeah,
sent me.
telephone pole.
somebody wrecked it.
Mm-mm.
And then they put a new front end and started.
He
Oh, I was going to
said-
say, somebody
Autocross
sent me a
or something.
picture of it all of a sudden painted black with a Jeep grill or something
Yeah,
on the
some
front.
weird
It was-
grill. I
It was
remember that.
Very odd.
Yeah, he's right. 'Cause
Frankified.
they fixed it weird. Yeah.
Okay, well,
I
then
never
the
had
first
to
kid-
witness Scott's Miata days.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right,
It was-
so
Okay.
we got a Toyota, an XJ,
Yep.
a Defender 130, and a
Disco one.
Disco 1. All right, I guess I'm batting cleanup.
Yes.
Now, remember, in all fairness, my Grail truck does change from time to time,
Day to day.
Hour
day
to
to
hour?
day.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's been the same for a while now. But
So
there
3
was a
days?
time I wanted that CJ7 fiberglass tub with a 350. That was my Grail truck for a long time. But in the last few years, I've been going between that one and I want a Waggy, an old Wagoneer, like 60s Wagoneer that has
I found a place
the
in Florida.
Gladiator front end.
Yeah. I
Gotta
found
have
a
the
place in
Gladiator
Florida
front
that
end.
does nut and bolt restorations on those.
Now, everything's going to get stripped out. I'm talking about race aluminum door panels, roll up windows, just a crank and an arm, just a pad for your elbow. Nothing behind the driver's seat. Okay? So it's going to
Well,
be
because you have to
all
put the
aluminum.
driver's seat back far enough to fit you.
Well, that too.
Well,
But
if
I mean,
you're
I'm
going
not
to take
gonna
the
have
back
that.
seats, why not go Cherokee Chief?
No. Because I like the four-door aspect
Yeah,
of it.
I have to agree there. I
Now,
do
wait a
like
minute.
the 4-door.
No trim on this truck. It's going to be pulled completely trim-free.
You don't
No
want the
chrome
cool
on the
wood
outside.
grains?
No faux wood grain?
No, and no.
Come on, it looked cool on there.
Listen, no roof rack. Okay, this is going to be
Slick top.
more trail than daily drive. Now, I would daily drive because I only got like 11 miles. So, but I mean, it's this thing's minimum on 35s, probably 4 to 6 inch lift, solid axles front and rear, Chevy 350. I might go automatic in this truck.
Really?
Yeah,
What?
I might
For
go
rock
with a
crawler.
really
Art car 3-speed.
cooked up automatic, but with an Atlas transfer case.
You do love the 2
I
sticks.
love the 2-stick Atlas transfer case, but the whole truck's got it. Okay, I'm talking aluminum tunnel over the tranny. Everything that was interior is pulled out and turned into aluminum panels.
So you're
Roll cage.
you're going to have headphones and mics
Sounds a
to
little
talk to
cold in the
Elaine
winter.
2 feet away because you ain't going to hear nothing in that
I
round.
don't care. I don't care.
So what you're saying is you just want the shell on a frame with an engine and transmission.
Maybe just a little more than that. I
Can
do
we
want
at
a
least
heater because I
upgrade
get
it to
cold.
coils?
I wouldn't say no to that because, but again, I would go first iteration. If it had to be all lease, I'd go all lease and then build it up into coils because that would be kind of trick.
Mm.
But I'm talking like a bones, nothing fancy, waggy. It's got maybe air conditioning and heat because then you kind of like
They
that
have air
a little
conditioning
bit.
back
Oh, you'll
there?
have plenty
Well,
of heat
no,
from
they-
that
they
giant
make
engine
stuff.
and no insulation.
Well,
Right through the firewall.
But no roof rack. I wouldn't put nothing above this thing. I'd have an interior full cage. I'd have a winch and some extra lights, but not many. I mean, just straight up when it's skinny pedal truck.
They wouldn't
Up
pass
Bill
an inspection
350.
in West Virginia.
I've got
Who
a
cares?
I-
That sounds like a trailer for him anyway.
Whoa,
He'd drive it.
What?
He'd drive it for
What?
3 minutes back and
trailer
forth to work.
crane? I would not trailer
You
that.
cannot drive that on the street, even in
Why?
lawless Ohio.
Oh yeah,
Why?
I bet you could.
I bet
Why
Yeah,
not?
I've seen the Crown Vic with no hood and the light bar bolted to where.
No
Wait a
doors
minute.
either.
I mean, everything's going to work. High beams, low beams, turn signals, all that stuff
What-
works. I just
okay.
don't.
What are the legalities of driving a car on the street in Ohio?
It has to have an engine and tires.
No inspection, right?
Right.
No emish.
No.
You have to prove that you own it. You need a VIN plate.
I don't.
You do.
Yeah, but you can get that off anything.
Now
I was
we
about
have
to say.
Oh,
Ohio has spot checks.
They do.
You could, like, if you're going
Well,
out
like-
22 and they go, you pull over and they're going to inspect your car right there and
They
write you
do.
up.
They do. But
That
it's
could
very
happen.
rare.
Yeah, but what are they just checking your ownership and insurance?
No, there are height laws and
If you get
different
stopped,
things.
you're basically fair game. and you should be within all the legal parameters,
Right.
very similar to West Virginia and Pennsylvania.
Oh.
But that is so rare. I can't say that I've ever actually known anyone to have that happen to them. I have known people to get whacked for external or extra lights and not having covers on them or
Right.
things
Yeah.
like that.
Anything above the
I got-
headlights have to be
And
covered.
generally, it
I gotta
seems
go
like
with that one.
that stuff is just not an excuse, but sort of for other stuff. So, like, if they can't get you for speeding and you're driving and they don't like what you're doing, they'll pull you over for this or that. But yeah,
I've had a few
Well, you
run-ins
know,
with police
I
officers.
don't blame.
Like that in
Well,
Pennsylvania.
hey, just obey the law.
Right.
But this truck, it would be street legal, and I would
Yeah.
drive it. But I don't think I would drive it from here to Georgia. You know, and that's not what it
Okay.
was intended
All right.
to do. But my main side would be camping and trail riding. You know, not racing, but man, I just think a 350 and a Waggy. Gosh, that's a cool truck.
Okay.
Kind of sweet.
What kind of 350?
The one that's in the garage.
Oh, you can't. That's going in the Land Rover. Remember? We
No,
just
I-
worked all that
I
out.
would like to see that Land Rover come to the
Yeah.
lake.
I'm not gonna
Hey,
lie.
you get that other engine pulled out of there.
But I
Okay,
think if
that's
I
a no-brainer.
if I built the 350,
That's 8 bolts.
first of
maybe.
all, would be running through heavy.
Actually,
It's
no
two.
transmission hook
It's
to
two
it,
bolts
so
because there's no transmission,
a
no
mount.
radiator.
Oh, okay.
the
Perfect.
engine comes right out.
Even-
It's super simple.
Even better.
They gotta make a plate for that tranny to a 350, right?
I'm sure
For
they do.
Land
They
Rover.
make one for everything.
They're doing LS swaps to them now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
those
Is
are
that
way
good?
cool.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's really good. So we got Toyota. What is it again? 85.
1985 extra cab. First year the fuel injection. Last year the solid axle.
Right on.
Bone stock extra.
Bone stop.
Defender 130.
96 Disco one with a 350 in it.
Which you already own.
Parts of.
Okay, and mine is an early 60s, mid 60s Wagoneer 350, pretty kind of built. I'm liking
Gladiator
it.
from it.
All right, so that's the Grail trucks as of tonight. So if we do a Grail truck episode 6 months
Tomorrow?
from now,
They're going to be different.
it could be different. But that's
Yeah.
the fun part of being a guy, man. We get to change things up.
I
So,
sort of gave 2, but yeah, that's my main one. But I could easily now we're just talking, money no object. We hit the lottery. If we now for another episode
cap it.
say
Oh jeez.
$4,000
Make it an even 5.
$5,000
Yeah.
cap. Now that changes.
that
things.
does.
A
Could you-
Grail
does
truck?
that-
I couldn't even buy the tires for my
Does
Grail
that
truck.
Okay, maybe
include-
not a.
Does that include the price of the truck, or is that just your
That's a good
upgrade?
question.
Oh,
Because if you said that to me and said, I would stay with my JK right now and spend that $5,000, and that would be an awesome truck.
Because that makes a
okay.
difference.
I'll let you do it both ways.
Okay.
Since you already own that truck, the crazy red disco.
Oh, so we're building the Grail truck. Is that what we're doing?
No. Just you wanted that truck. Here's a $5,000 cap. You
Yeah.
already own it. You don't have to buy it.
Okay.
And
You
just
got a
sink some
point. Yeah,
cash
you could
into it.
you could go that way. So that'll be an episode down the road. Maybe we'll do.
If that is the case, maybe it could be.
We
something
could do it right now
own.
because I've got an answer. I'm ready.
Oh jeez.
We don't want to do it right now.
Okay.
We'll
I
save
would,
it for
I would
another
do my
episode.
Willie.
Right.
Something you own. Here's $5,000. Okay.
Well, we'll do that.
And he would sink it into a roof and doors.
Well, hey guys, this was fun. We hope you enjoyed this first episode of The Shack, brought to you by LTWK. It was a lot of fun for us. Again, we're just talking guy stuff, and this is how we really talk around the campfire. So we just talk about the fun stuff in life. So, hey, tune in next time. We'll see you then. God bless you.
Someone to tell her and what I need from you right now is someone to tell her